Welcome to another episode of Video Editing Systems. Today we're talking with Jordan Paige from Jordan Paige Media Company. Jordan Paige is a wedding videographer based out of Maine. She got into videography through the military, which is kind of similar but very different from the way that I got into videography, and I was really excited to pick her brain about her past and any kind of systems that she brought from the military into her new business. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Devin. I'm a remote video editor living in Argentina, and on this show we talk about systems that we figured out and we're still figuring out to make us better videographers, content creators, or editors. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. It's nice and rainy here. Is it cold there?
2 degrees
Oh,
when I
wow.
woke up this morning.
I was actually excited because I had a hoodie on today because it's been like 100 something here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but the houses are cold. The houses are made to stay cold, so
Is this Argentina's summertime?
yeah. And
Oh, so you're
it
right
was
in the
really
thick
rainy
of it.
this morning. I went for a run uh because I get really excited to run in the rain or train in the rain and feel like Rocky,
Mhm.
but at the same time I'm
Mhm.
terrified of lightning. And
Mhm.
I I go run with my dog and we went like on the way out like there was one lightning, but it was pretty far out. I could tell that it was far out. And then we get to like the spot that we run at, it's like you've got river on both sides. It's like this point that you run out, this dirt road. And
Mhm.
I was like, we're not going there. And so I turned, I figured we'd get lost, go somewhere else, and then another lightning bolt came and no. Had to
Oh
cancel
my
the
god.
run. I don't like yeah.
When I was in the military, we used to say if it's not raining, we're not training.
I kind
So,
of
I get it.
I kind of figured like I kind of thought that this morning while I was like, why do I like this so much? And I was like, I bet like I don't know. I think like in the movies, base camp, boot camp. I mean, like you like in the mud training, and I'm like, I wonder if it's similar.
It is, and someone's always yelling at you, and it just feels so much better if there's
Nice.
rain.
I think like this morning I was thinking about it too. I was because when I was a kid, I was into soccer. Not too long. I kind of got cut and then switched to mountain biking. But I do like one of the highlights of going to soccer practice was whenever it rained, we do diving headers in the mud.
Exactly, it's so much
Yes.
fun to slide around. Yes, yes. I played soccer, I had to stop because I got a concussion, and I had too many concussions in high school, but that was, like, the best part is if it was raining, it was just easier to slide tackle someone.
Yeah. Very cool. So how did you get into the military?
I joined the military, it was a family affair, both my dad and my brother and other family members were in. It wasn't always what I wanted to do. I went to my brother's graduation, and he he's 2 years older than me, so I would have been either going into my junior year or my senior year of high school, and so just getting into going to colleges for figuring out what we want to do, and I started getting too head over heels, and I'm like, I don't have money for college. My headphones are freaking out. Hold on. I think my headphones just died. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good now. That was a weird audio thing.
Okay.
You know how it is with audio. I was gonna use my DJI mix today, but those are in storage, I guess, for the winter. So I need to go get those out for my wedding in 2 weeks.
You got a wedding in two
um,
weeks?
I do. This is my first wedding of the year. 2 weeks.
Nice.
Yes. Yep. You. I know you said you don't have an off season. I try to schedule myself an off season because of my military disability. I was disabled through the military,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I just can't go as hard as I used to, and I can't work as much as other people. So I do take time off in the winter to try to slow down. I always say it's an off season, but I still work really hard or end up getting a side job. I just can't rest. It's really hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, my first wedding is in 2 weeks. The military actually taught me everything I know video wise. I didn't want to pay for college, so that's why I ended up joining. And what before I went to boot camp, I was like, well, so what am I going to do? What's my job? I was talking to my recruiter, and he's like, well, you can be like a photographer or a videographer. I was like, I didn't know you could do that in the military. So yeah, that's where I started out. And I only had 3 months of training for video. So it was a very baseline training. Like the whole first month was talking about electricity and not how to not electrocute yourself. And then the second month was getting into like, this is how you use a camera, and this is how you hold a camera, and this is how you take photos and videos. And then the last month was like, all right, go make a video. Go make a documentary and we'll tell you if it's good or not.
Nice.
So, yes, I did a documentary on TIG welders in the army, which was super fun, super cool.
What's a TIG
Um,
welder? Sorry.
um, TIG welding is a certain type of welding. I don't know. I'm no welder, but I was
You didn't
just
find out in the
only
documentary?
so these people, like I said, 3 months of training for my videography. Imagine how much these welders were training. Maybe just a couple months like me, but it's just it's a type of welding, and this was almost 10 years ago. And my disability is a brain injury, so my brain doesn't work
Oh, okay.
at its full capacity at all times. So if I ever lose my words, just bear with me. But
No worries.
I was just
English is
listening.
hard for me sometimes, so I get you. I get stuck sometimes.
English is the hardest language. Um, I was just listening to one of your episodes because I wanted to get the vibes for the what you do for your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And it was talking about just the different editing systems. And so I first started learning on Premiere and in the military. And then when I got out and went to college, Premiere was still being taught and Final Cut was being like pushed out the door.
Uh-huh.
And they started introducing Da Vinci. So I have learned Da Vinci. I loved it, but my brain works the type of way if I don't use it, I'll lose it. So I think the Marine Corps having already drilled Premiere Pro into me, I just stuck with Premiere Pro once I got into my business. And you were making me jealous when you were talking about all the new setups of Da Vinci, and I
They
just
all
wish
get to
I could.
Premiere though. They all like
Yeah.
they're catching. They all catch up eventually. Like they're all neck and neck. So it's not
Yes.
that big of a deal.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. I couldn't use the AI feature on for audio on Premiere for like 2 years up until I think it was the last summer, last fall. I don't know if it was me upgrading my chip, my processing chip,
Mm-hmm.
or if it was something with Premiere. But finally, AI audio started working for me, and that's usually the only AI I really use.
You might
Is
use other ones that you don't even know about.
yes, that is so. That is 100% true, especially now in the age of AI.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was just editing some photos, and I was like, all everything I use in Photoshop, I feel like is AI, and it makes me feel bad.
Mm. You edit
I
your
need to
photos
learn
in
how.
Photoshop?
I do Lightroom or Photoshop. The
Okay.
What I was just doing in Photoshop was trying to do some face swaps because I had a class photo I had to take of all of the old folks that showed up for the workout, and half of them were looking, and half of them weren't, in multiple photos. So
Mm-hmm.
the photo merge AI did not work well, so I was like, yeah, I got to do this manually.
Oh.
Well, manually. So I figured it out a little bit, but photo is not my forte. That's why I'd rather edit video than do photo.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I like video much better than photo.
How did you get your start in the video industry?
Um, I got a GoPro. My family gave me a GoPro when I was like, I think it was like my 24th birthday. I was guiding canyoneering in Utah in Zion National Park.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think GoPros were relatively new, and I kind of felt weird with it. I felt like if I was gonna put it on my head, I was gonna have to go hard. Like I was gonna have to mountain bike and do big, because they have like that's where the rampage is. Like they've got like heavy stuff, and I'm like, if I put this thing on me, I'm gonna break myself. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? And I ended up giving it to clients that were doing canyoneering. They were rappelling and everything, and I would put together a video for a YouTube channel, which is actually like still kind of. I actually just saw it today. Like it's almost a year since I posted the last video, Actually, no, no, yeah, it's over a year. Um, but it was like the idea was to start making videos to because I wanted to eventually have my own guiding business, which I did
Hmm.
later. And I was like, well, this is the best way to like start the marketing. I don't have my business yet, but I like this is fun. This is something I can do with the GoPros. And uh and yeah, that's kind of how I started making my first videos. And then yeah, I just got into filming climbing and filming snowboarding. And then I went to Vail and Aspen for a while. For 5 years, I was in two in Vail and three in Aspen, and I started doing a little bit of filming there. And then like I finally like wanted to move back to Argentina. I really missed Argentina, and I was thinking of what I could do remotely, and that's when I really went all in and like I I geeked out hard, like learning how to edit properly and how to edit fast, and like learning a lot of different theory, like screen movement and like
Hmm.
color grading and all the fun stuff. Before it was like when I first started. At one point, my cousin showed me Casey Neistat, and
Hmm.
like turned into a huge Casey Neistat fan. And his whole thing is like very simple and no color grading and like just everything, which now in hindsight like gave me a really good foundation. I see a lot of friends of mine that are like mostly photographers who like they have an understanding of light like way crazier than me. Like when I see the photos that they take, they also like will go on climbing trips and they'll be from 9 in the morning till like 11 at night with the camera, like won't stop taking pictures the whole time. They just like love taking pictures. And for me, it was always just kind of like sometimes when I'm hanging out with them, like a few times I've had a camera and they've had a camera, and I'm like, what are we filming? Like, there's no story, there's nothing happening here, and they just like they can take really cool pictures, but that don't always tell a story or anything.
Hmm.
And I feel like that like as wonky as like at first I was just doing YouTube videos and it kind of just felt like a little kooky, but
Hmm.
later on once I started figuring out more about videos, I realized how like that's a good asset to have.
Yes, definitely. I feel like it's harder, like some since I've been in the industry, something that has always stuck with me is it's harder to go from photo to video than it is video to photo. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's like you have to, like, when you're going from photo to video, you have to make your photo move. But it's easier to like pause down a video. Does that make sense? You can stop a video and you have
Yeah.
your single frame right there. But to make a photo move, like not every photographer has that ability.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. I think I like to like I've like before I even came here, I started like I like taking pictures. I just don't do it very often. But I like framing and being in the right moment and like still like thinking about the story. And one of the things that like really blew my mind that like I have a really good friend who's like the photographer for Aspen, Tamara Sousa. She's a beast with, but like her thing is landscape photography. And like for a little
Hmm.
bit, I started like playing with landscape because I was in Aspen. I was in like this awesome place, and I wanted to kind of figure out landscape photography. And I was like, I would see what she does, and what other people did, and like how they get at the right moment and tell the right story.
Hmm.
Um, but I couldn't do that. I needed to like my YouTube channel is like based from like Wayne's World. Wayne's World's like my that's my bible for storytelling. Like just making things fun, and like that's like how I like one
Yeah.
of my favorite movies growing up. And yeah, that's my kind of like storytelling and like figuring out like unique ways of telling something.
Yes,
And yeah,
definitely.
landscape photography, like I get it. I don't I respect it, and I understand when I see things, but for me to it was like whole nother different world.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the fascinating thing about our industry is you're a videographer, I'm a videographer, but we're two completely different paths
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
backgrounds and goals, even though you do weddings and I do weddings, but like I'm also working with old folks working out, and you're also doing rock climbing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
there's just so many different paths you can take. And like a lot with photographers, I see like them trying to find their style. And as a videographer, I feel like I'm like, do I have a style or do I adapt to every client? And I was actually like reevaluating a lot of my videos from the last couple years, and I'm like, well, as of now, like I'm a true to color, like documentarian style videographer. But when I was in the military, it was very historical documentarian esque, like cookie cutter. Everything has a basis. But now I'm like, everything goes with the flow, and I can do this at one wedding, and I don't have to do this at another wedding. So it's a lot nicer being your own boss. I can say that.
Yeah. Well, I think for me it's been fun being an editor because I have to adapt to everyone else's styles,
Hmm.
and some people don't. Some people, I've got some that are like they're kind of fun to work with because they know like we've been working long enough. They know that I've got a Wayne's World background. Like they know when to rein me in, be like, that was maybe too much, and like I also know sometimes like maybe just a little bit of fun here. But
Yep.
yeah, like
Yep.
it's been really fun adapting to everyone else's different styles.
Yeah. And it's important to be able to adapt because in an ever changing industry and economy, you never know what is going to make you money.
Hmm.
So you gotta search it out. And like one of the big debates in wedding videography is content creation. Is it overtaking wedding videography? Is it its own entity? I personally feel like it can be its own entity because they're two completely different things, but a lot of people try to blend them together. Like, oh, I'm not getting a videographer, so I'd rather hire a content creator.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
I think it's like
there.
I don't know. I'm cautious about how much I should say, but
I know I do. I don't want to say the wrong thing to offend people. Like, I think
yeah,
content creators are a career, but it's also very different than videography.
yeah. But I think in general, as videographers, we can tend to be artsy and forget that like we're working for a couple and we should be giving them what they want, and if they want a content creator, that's like that's our problem. That's like that's what they want. If they just want a photographer, like and it's something new that you have to adapt to. And I feel like a lot of like when people kind of hate on content creators, like that it's like hating on AI. It's like I don't know, hating on new things that develop that no, you got to figure out how you're going to play the new game. Like the game is always
Exactly.
changing. It's nothing new.
Yeah, the podcast you just posted about the AI. It's very interesting. I have come into the AI world hating AI head on, but as it's becoming more and more, not I shouldn't say normalized, but people are pointing out, like you said, a lot of things you use you don't realize is AI driven.
Yeah.
And so it's like I can't be upset as I lead myself to believe about AI because it can be very, very helpful and very useful. But I think it can also create some other issues on the other end. But
Yeah,
it's all about like
I think
what your
it's
client
just I think
wants.
it's tricky like it's something new that you have to like know how to use, and I've definitely seen it overused and you can totally tell, and it's sometimes it looks like garbage. And uh I have one client who's switching. I didn't notice until the other day because I've been working for him for over a year now, and but I always he's one that I always do the export. I always export the video and send him over to him. And I guess over a year ago he told me he does both Premiere and DaVinci, so I just always went to DaVinci. And the other day, I just found out that he barely touches DaVinci and he's more from Premiere, but he's kind
Hmm.
of wanted to make the switch, but same thing. Yeah, he wanted to make the switch, like hasn't had the time, and like I don't know, just but he messaged me out of nowhere. He's like, "This AI is crazy," and he gives me like all this like yeah. He sent me a video with a bunch of different new AIs in DaVinci, and I had to be like, yeah, they're nice, but you got to use them sparingly. Like there's certain ones that you can tell. Like he was blown away by the smooth cut. If you do a jump cut,
Yes. Mhm.
um, and like I try not to use it if I can help it, and like it's good. I think it's good being having edited before they made the smooth cut because now I know like I've got my techniques of how to avoid the how to cover up the jump cuts and where to place them and all. Because if you really need it, it's nice to have, but you have to have two really similar shots. Like if your hands are in the shot,
Mhm.
it's super noticeable that you did the smooth cut transition. The AI like doesn't do well with hands, or if you're kind of, it's got to be somewhat similar. And if you're doing it too much, it's also like it doesn't matter how fast your computer is, it's still slowing things down. And yeah, I don't know. I
Yes.
like they're real nice tools to have, but you need to know. I think like in my opinion, you need to know when and where to use them.
100%. And I think right now a lot of the discourse comes down to generationally. I feel like we're going to be like, back in my day, we didn't have AI, but it's like we keep saying, it's a helpful tool and it is the future. When I first started working in the video industry in the military, we would do things in, I can't even remember the program now, but one of the Adobe programs, After Effects.
Uh huh.
I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like I feel like After Effects is going to cease to exist because it's all going to be AI to a certain extent, and only real industry professionals are going to be the ones who can use After Effects.
Yeah, yeah, I guess I could see that. I never really thought about that. I liked Fusion is a mess in DaVinci. Like I've definitely
Mhm.
done more in Fusion, but like it's really hard to get a grasp of. I think if you understand Premiere, you can switch over into After Effects a little bit easier than as opposed
Mhm.
to Fusion. Like Fusion's pretty, I remember like when I first got into DaVinci, all I wanted to do was make a square on the screen, and it's ridiculous. Like in Premiere, you just click the box and you have an item there, and yeah, it was a mess. But um, yeah, I can kind of see that. Like as like that I talked not too long ago with Blaze and Peggy about CapCut, and I'm like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Like if you don't need to go that in depth with Fusion, and I went down, now that I think about it, I went down Fusion rabbit holes for a while, and I think it's a good base to have. But now I don't use it that often. Like I don't. For a while, I was like really, I don't know why. I think also when I started out with video editing, I didn't know what path I was gonna go down. Like I kind of like
Mhm.
eventually got to wedding videography, but I was like, I need to learn how to color grade. I need to learn how to do all the graphic effects. I need to like learn how YouTube algorithms work and like watch time and everything. And I also need to like going down all the holes and um yeah, and like the I feel like most of the graphic effects I use now, I really don't go too far into Fusion, especially not like the way that I did before. Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like with wedding videography, there's sometimes I don't have to be as showy as I have been in the past with certain videos. But I think it all, like I said, it all depends on the client. There's some clients that want more of a Hollywood experience, and then there's some that are like, my fiance doesn't want to be on camera. So it's like, well, okay, we can figure this out. But
Yeah,
I
I
think
I
go
j-
ahead.
I just started with a client from Las Vegas, and they're like
Ooh.
very heavy graphic effects. And I'm like, I get it. Like, if you're getting married in Vegas, you want like a trippy video that's like all over the place. And it's also they're very, very non chronological, which I've edited a bit. And like, I didn't realize until I started editing for them that most of what I'm doing now is chronological, which
Hmm.
I like. It makes more sense. And from what I've heard from most clients, is that like couples also like it that way, which I think makes
Yeah,
sense. I think that makes a lot of
yeah.
sense. But if you're in Las Vegas, I understand that like you kind of want it makes total sense for their brand. Like the videos that they make are like it's total, it sells in Vegas.
Yes, definitely, with the Elvis impersonators
Yeah.
and all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, if I were to elope in Vegas, I would want all of those fancy, all of that.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
being in northern Maine, it's a lot of barn weddings, slow romance. So it's yeah. And every once in a while you get a really cool venue. I one of my first weddings, I think it was my second year in, I had two lobstermen. The husband and wife were both fishermen, and they both had lobster boats. It was in the family. And they got married on a private island. Everyone was boated out to the island by
What?
lobster boats. Yeah. It was super fun. It was a good take on a Maine wedding because you're still out in nature and there was oyster shuckers and all the fun Maine things, but normally I'm just in a barn in a field somewhere. So when I get to be on a boat or on a private island, I'll take that up. And
Yeah.
I just got probably one of my biggest weddings of my career, Killington, Vermont.
Oh,
It's a huge
nice.
yes, I'm so stoked. It's not gonna be in the winter, it's gonna be in peak season in October. The couple are huge skiers and snowboarders, so they wanted to go somewhere. So I'm really stoked about that. I feel like that'll get me a little bit more experience under my belt because I feel like my wedding experience isn't as bountiful as my whole video career. So I'm still learning. And I think that's the fun thing about the industry is you're always going to be learning since it's a technical thing. All the ups and downs are going to be AI and whatever the trends are. But I miss the military a lot. I think it helped me with establishing a really good like system for editing and discipline and being able to run my own business. But like I said, it's nice to be my own boss, but sometimes I miss being back in the military and having someone telling me like yes or no, like you need to fix this and like blah blah blah, like just sitting there watching my video and be like these are the things you did wrong, do better
Yeah,
next time.
yeah, yeah.
Like being your own critic. Some people are their own worst critic, but for me it's really hard because I'm very passionate and I love what I do, and being at someone's happiest day of their life, it's hard to be like, "Oh, this video sucks."
Yeah.
Because it's all gorgeous videos full of emotions, but like where this year is one of the things I'm working on is where can I get better as a wedding videographer? And I'm like, I need more family footage. Like I've always just focused on the bridal party and the bride and groom. I was like, I need more guests and family footage. I think that's where I lack.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think there's enough people out there that can give themselves criticism and to better themselves that way. So, like I said, I'm always trying to be better, and even if it's hard, and I don't want to make myself cry. Someone in the Marine Corps could have done it easy,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
I'm not gonna make myself cry over my own critiques.
yeah. I think I don't know. I did this a little bit like when I was starting out editing, is just like writing down um yeah, things you can get better at, or and like your notebook kind of turns into your coach. Like I do it now more like training wise, like going for the run or like training for climbing. Like I like try to plan out the schedule 2 months, 3 months in advance, like a whole cycle. And I've got the drill sergeant like right there telling like, okay, this is what you do. And I don't know, it just that definitely makes things go a lot faster, and like I don't there's no doubt of like what's next or what yeah, what you need to improve on. Like I think that's definitely like yeah, I think as soon as I start as soon as I start writing things down, even like I did it the other day with my website. Like I opened up my website after I don't know how many months without opening it, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, and I just started writing down like everything. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
there's a whole week of work.
Yes. Well, it's like I think it's your first podcast episode you're talking about in the editing systems, just like taking yourself away from the computer. Like if you work an 8-hour editing day, like
Yeah,
taking the breaks throughout the day so that you can take your eyes off of whatever you're working on and coming back with fresh eyes, I think
yeah.
is super important. And
Fresh brain. You let your
that
brain render.
exactly.
Yeah,
Well, if your computer's gonna take the time,
yeah.
like, and that was in the like in the military, I remember rendering used to take a lot more time, and that was my time to kick back. But that's when one of my leading officers would come in and be like, "All right, so this is going to render for 40 minutes. How are you going to make yourself better during those 40 minutes?" And I'm like, like,
Stretch.
excuse me,
Drink water.
I wanted to take a break. Like, but it's g- got me in my head to be like, yes, there's time. Like this month, these last couple months, my off season. It's not really an off season. Yeah, I have no weddings, but I'm looking at my website, trying to better that, looking at what I did for the last year. How can I make it different this year or better? What did I do well that I can carry on into each year?
Hmm.
I think I'm since I'm so prideful about this job, I have to put my pride aside and be like, just because I'm proud of it doesn't mean it's what everyone else wants.
Yeah, I feel like that's across the industry a very big.
Yes. Being a creative, it's hard to like your work and it's hard to hate your work. I mean,
Yeah.
I know so many creatives out there that don't like the art that they create, but it's also really hard to sit there and tear down your work because you are proud of it.
Hmm.
Um and there's I mean, we've all worked with people who can't put their pride and their egos aside, and it just kind of, you can tell
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
every industry has those individuals, but usually they're prideful for a reason. They got to a really good point in their industry,
Yeah,
and it's
I think
like,
that's good to
well, they're
recognize
doing
too. Like, I think, yeah, I feel it both ways because sometimes like again, it's great being able to work for so many different videographers that have different styles because there's like the same thing for me. Like, there's certain things that they're like, if they'll give me revisions, like especially when we're first starting out and like I'm learning their style, and like there's
Mhm.
certain parts that I really like about the video, and they're like, "Can you do it this way?" I'm like, "That looks like crap," and then but I'm like, "Wait a minute." They've got so many years and they got the clients for some reason, so like, yeah, whatever you say. Whatever you want.
Yeah,
and and I feel like it's kind of
exactly.
like, for me, it's a lot easier for me to like realize that and be like, oh yeah, for sure, that's what you want. But I feel like, as a if you're when you're the wedding videographer, sometimes it's harder to like tell a couple, like, what do you mean that's what you want? Like, yeah, that's what you want. Okay.
Exactly. It's not your wedding day
I
anymore.
really
It's
wanted to put
not.
this video on my website, and if I do that, I can't use this on my portfolio.
One of the first, like one of my first year in business, like trying to figure out weddings and how does this process work. I remember it was the private island, right? The lobster
Uh-huh.
fisherman. I sent her videos and she goes, "I love everything except this one clip. Can you change it? My friend looks like a goober." Is what she said. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, of course." Like I didn't think your friend looked dumb, but like now that you mention it, they
Yeah,
do
yeah,
look a
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
silly. So like, but it's just like silly things like that. The video is obviously fine. It was just one clip, which I just think is so silly. But I've and I haven't really experienced a lot of clients that want changes.
Mhm.
I mean, most of the time they're like, "What you're doing is perfect," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Oh, thanks. All right, my bread is ready. Hold on, let me take it out the oven.
All right.
Now there's no bread to be distracted by. What are your questions?
Fujifilm. You've used Fujifilm?
I have, yes. I second shoot photography for a wedding photographer and DJ. He offers packages together. He switched to the Fujifilm systems 2 years ago. I love them. I think he is the ones that look vintage. They look old, but they're the brand new ones. I couldn't even tell you what model they are. I'm so bad when it comes to other brands because I personally shoot Sony. But I really enjoyed it, and the low light capabilities are pretty awesome. The photographer and DJ I work with, he usually lights the dance floor for the first hour. But if the lights are down and it's pretty dark, it still looks pretty good in the low light.
Nice. I don't get to play, like, I actually sometimes I feel like really out of place with the camera because everything I do is here behind the computer. So sometimes when I'm playing with the camera, I'm like, oh right, like this is but I have one client that has Fujifilm cameras, and I have a Sony, but he's thinking about switching to Sony, and I'm like, I don't know, I really like the footage that he gets with the Fujifilm. It's like it just seems so unique and so like you can tell
It's
right
you
away
can
that it's
tell. Yeah.
yeah
It's definitely that, and I think that's why I like it, because the photographer I work with, he markets himself as being alternative from the wedding industry, and I think it helps with that Fujifilm
yeah because
set.
not many people
Yeah.
use them.
No. Yeah, it's mostly Nikon and Canon around this area.
mm.
Occasionally I find a Sony photographer, which I love finding Sony photographers, but um, the camera I'm filming on is the Sony A7C, which was like my second camera, but my first real big girl camera is what I call it. And then the Sony FX30 cinema line.
Oh, those two, yeah, I've
I love it
yeah.
so much.
um Yeah, one of my clients got a hold of some of those, and like I had already edited so much for him, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, this is different.
Yes, I want a second cinema line really badly, but the A7 and the FX30 do work well together, so I don't need to upgrade just yet.
Yeah.
That will Once I do, I will be getting into the luxury territory.
Do you use it all? I just came to my mind. The time code with the. Do you match the time code between the two of them?
No, I do not.
Uh,
Do
it's.
you?
I have one or two client. I think one client that at one point he had it all lined up, the audio and that was the first time I ever saw it. That I saw someone that
Hmm.
had them all lined up like that, and when you put them in the timeline, everything lines up. You don't have to line up any of the audio or anything, and you know like what time of the day. As you put it
That's
in,
insane.
it's so crazy. It's so good.
I need to get on that.
Yeah. It's really, really good. But I imagine like I've never set up the camera with the time to sync like that. Um, but yeah, when I saw it, I was like, why doesn't anyone else do this? And like, yeah, when I think about lining everything up myself, like I'm
Yeah.
sure you do it once and it's set, but yeah.
Yeah. I definitely need to look into that. The way I my DJI mics that I use normally, I have a transmitter that I plug into one camera, so it like is automatically synced up. But I don't have natural audio on that camera. It's only That's like the downplay. So I usually just, merge them all together. I have the nat audio from the other camera that's rolling, and then I have linked audio to my B camera. Um, but I love linking audio. That was one of my things when I was in the military. No one liked linking audio. They're like, "Can you come and help?" Like I was the audio linking person. I could do it with my eyes. Wouldn't even need to like listen. I could see the the waves, the sound waves. I can't even think of the words right now.
Yeah.
And that's normally how I do it now. If I
You don't do it
no,
automatically with the AI?
nope. No, God, no.
Really?
No. No, I do it all, yeah, by
Have you
myself.
ever tried?
No, I have not tried the linking. Maybe I should. Because, like
You
I
might
said, I'm not
yeah.
trying to dog AI. If it's going to make it easier. But
Yeah.
normally it only takes me like a minute or so to link the audio.
Yeah.
I usually don't
Yeah,
have
that's how
issues at
yeah.
all.
I get it. Like there's a lot of AI, but that's the way I feel that like it doesn't take me that long and I know that it's lined up. And I think with audio, I don't even like I think there's even faster ways of doing it than the way that I do it. I drag them all
Mhm.
into the timeline and one by one I'll sync them automatically. And sometimes they don't sync together, so it is a really good skill to have.
Yeah.
To be able to line everything up. But just about every other AI, like there's a lot of other ones that can like save a step, like the ones that cut out the spaces between.
Hmm.
That's a big one that I'm like, I don't need to do that. I don't take that long to do
Yeah.
it, and I like seeing all the footage and like even just scrubbing through, even if I'm not listening, just scrubbing through and like taking out the spaces and knowing like when people move and everything. There's certain things that like that yeah, like I don't mind doing it by hand. And if you don't mind doing it by hand, it doesn't take you that long. Yeah, go for it. Like awesome. But it is.
Yeah. So I use HoneyBook for my CRM, and that's all AI powered. So that's where I kind of bite the bullet because there are some bugs with it because it's AI powered, but I feel like every update that they do improves so much, and it comes out with more and more things that are helpful to running a business. So that's where I'm like, all right, AI, like we said, AI can be helpful, everything in moderation, like, but when it comes to the editing process, I'm trying to think about what I actually use AI for when it comes to editing. I've used it to just clarify audio.
Hmm.
Um,
I think that's the easiest, and yeah,
yeah,
that's a
but do
big
you
one.
ever get it? It makes it robotic
Oh
sometimes.
yeah, you got to turn it. Like I try to do as least
Yeah,
as possible. You turn it down.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a because I just started working with that last year. The year before, if I ever tried to use the AI audio, it would just shut down my computer. And like I said, I don't know if that was a Premiere issue or if I just didn't have enough RAM or whatnot. But I ended up getting one of the Mac Minis. The
Ooh, one of the
Yeah,
computers.
yeah, the little.
Nice.
I don't remember what I got, but I got a good deal on it at Best Buy. It had just gone on sale because I think the one above it just released. And it has made everything so much faster, which has been so nice.
Very cool. Do you have any other anything else that like stayed like from what you learned in the military? Any kind of systems or any kind of like things that simplify your business?
Yes, and this yes. So I was stationed at boot camp. I went through boot camp. I went through combat training, video school, then I went back to boot camp. And the Marine Corps boot camp's 13 weeks long. And so at any given day that you're a videographer on Paris Island, there could be a swimming qualification, out at the range. They could be doing classes, they could be doing Marine Corps martial arts. So there's one of these events is going to be happening every single day. And so the way that they instilled it in us as photographers and videographers is go find what you are passionate about filming and then do that every week and get perfect at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally loved the rappel tower. It was when you jump off of the tower, you're all you know what rappelling is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so that was one of my favorite things to film. And because I like adrenaline and I enjoyed jumping off the rappel tower when I went through boot camp. I volunteered. So it's just fun being back there by choice. And I did that every week until I was bored of it. And then I'm like, all right, well, and it created me like by second nature. I show up and film. And I think that really helped once I got into weddings because I'm like, okay, every wedding is basically the same. It's going to be different, but basically the same. This is like a layout of how it's going to happen. And once you get back from filming, you have to, edit and produce a video that is social media ready by the end of the day. So that turnaround time really, really helped me in the military now outside of the military because it's just discipline. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and being a freelancer, you don't have that drill sergeant or that officer or OIC, whoever it was, whatever branch you were. You don't have that person yelling at you to get your job done.
Yeah.
You have to do that to yourself. So I think the military helped me by being like, all right, you have a job to do and you can go and do it. So my editing, my turnaround period is only a month from your wedding date, which is just insane for videographers. You can't find that in the industry.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people, like some people have told me that I don't take enough time editing. And I break it down and I'm like, well, if I spend 40 hours a week on my computer and it takes me 20 hours to edit one wedding, how can I not do that in this time frame? How are you not providing it in this time frame? And that's when they'll come back with, well, I book more weddings than you. And I'm like, and that's your choice. Like I've made it a choice to I don't like to do double wedding weekends. I will if it's close in proximity, if it's 2 6-hour packages, but if I have an 8 or a 10-hour wedding day on a Saturday, I probably won't be filming again the next day because I have a wedding hangover.
Mhm.
I'm exhausted and I'm not at my 100%.
Yeah.
And it's totally fine that other people can do that, but personally, I can't. And I learned that. And yeah, so I'm going to take my time. I'm going to edit in a great time period so that I can get it turned back to the client and then focus on my next client without even thinking about the past clients.
Mhm.
And I've learned that all from the military. Like the military was like, always work on what you have at hand and you need to do it well and get it done. Like, don't even think about anything else.
Yeah.
So that's helped me so much. I usually have one wedding every Saturday, starting from June to November. And if I stay on top of myself, I can get everything edited. They get their sneak peek 24 to 48 hours. They get their final gallery in earliest 1 week, but when I really take my time, 2 to 3 weeks, a month at max. And I'm seeing other vendors that 6 months plus to get you your photos and
Yeah, yeah,
videos
yeah.
back. That's heartbreaking. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you guys are professional and you have 100 weddings this year, but by my choice, I just don't want to do that to my client. Like, I
Yeah.
make it like I'm like a mom and pop compared to like the corporations. That's the way I try to.
Yeah, I think no, I think that's also just so good for your brain and like you said, like your discipline. I'm kind of similar with that, and I don't know, I don't film weddings usually. Um, almost yeah. Like all I do is edit, so I can't speak too much for that end. But like when I hear that it takes that long to get the videos back to people, it kind of blows my mind. And but I do hear it from the editing world, like from editors or like a lot of people have hired me because I have faster turnaround times. And like when I hear people's turnaround times, I'm like, there's no way that they're that busy. Um, I don't know. Like
I
I
will.
can't speak for other people, but
Yeah.
it just kind of makes sense. It just makes more sense, and I feel much better when I like have everything super planned out, and there's no way that I don't know. Until now, at least, I haven't like gotten to where I'm booked more than a month and a half, 2 months in advance, and like I've got no reason
Yeah.
to like yeah, if you tell me about the project now, you're on the list, and it shouldn't be more than however long. And
Yeah.
it's and even if I was to get to that point, like I already right now have Essay, shout out to Essay, he's editing this podcast and he's helping me out a little bit, and I feel like
Thank you, essay.
thanks. And yeah, but like even if I was to get to where I have that much work to where I'm like months in advance, like I would want to have other editors working with me and get it out
Yeah.
faster and get it done and be able to to be able to take on more work that way. But like yeah, I don't know. But in I get it. I get what yeah, it just
Yeah.
makes more
And I
sense.
I I understand both sides of it. I'm in a very unique situation having my military background and being disabled through the military because I do have a disability paycheck and I chalk that up to me not having to take on as much work. I don't have to take on 100 weddings, 50 weddings a year. Um, but I did join the military and I became disabled, so it's still like I'm experiencing that. And I just I just don't understand why anyone would take more weddings than their workload. If it's taking you 6 months to return your videos and photos, you shouldn't be charging a luxury price, in my opinion. Because if you're paying so much for a certain service, the higher the money, the better the service,
Yeah.
in theory.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I see a lot of these, I don't know the prices universally. I know like wedding prices are crazy per state. But I'm one of the cheapest videographers in my state and I have three different packages. I start at 1750 and then I have one all the way to 3500 and that's cheap. Like that's dirt cheap for videography in the area. But most of the other videographers either they hire out their editing, which I'm like, good. If you're filming every weekend, hire out your editing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
Do that. Yeah, exactly. Like make the economy go worldwide and get and then you're not waiting that long. But I see these people that get in their head over water and
Yeah.
they're they have a full-time job outside of photography,
Oh.
so they're doing full-time working and then photography, like 2 to 3 weddings a week on top of a full-time job, and then, like, portrait photography on top of that, and they're just so behind, and it's like, I don't ever wanna do that to me or to my clients, so I'm glad that I've created a nice environment that I can do what I do, and it works out for everyone involved. But, yeah.
Sweet. Well, this seems like a perfect opportunity to let everyone know what where they can follow you. Thank you so much for being on the podcast I got a few more questions, but it seems like a good place to stop and thank everyone
Yes.
for listening this far. And
Yes.
we would both love follows. Where can anyone find you?
My social media is Jordan Paige Media Company. Instagram is JP Media Company is where you can find me. Um, yeah. What about yours? What are your socials?
Devin Dennis Studios on Instagram, on YouTube as well. Not as active on YouTube, but yep, Devin Dennis Studios on Instagram. And the website is devindennisstudios.com.
Yep. I'm JordanPageMediaCompany.com if you know how to spell it.
Yeah, and I'll put it
Jordan
in. I'll put it in the.
Paige.
I'll put it in the description of the podcast. Talking about
Perfect.
websites and platforms, I wanted to circle back. I spaced out when you were talking about HoneyBook. I had a few questions
Yes.
that.
Mhm.
Do you use the Knot at all?
No. Mm-mm,
Is there a reason?
I do not. I have been weary because of what they say in the
Okay,
industry.
that's what I was curious about. When you said it, I thought of that, and then I forgot to ask.
Yes, and I actually this is so funny. I just booked a wedding for 2027. I got
Nice.
an email from what's no Zola because I
Uh
have
huh.
a listing on Zola, but I don't pay for Zola. And every once in a while, I get emails that people are looking for me, and I had to pay $12 to connect with this couple. And I'm like, I'm so sorry I don't use Zola. So sorry for the delay, but they ended up booking me. But they were the client was saying how for them to get their wedding venue because they own a wedding venue through Zola, it would have been $1,800 a month for marketing, and
Oh,
it's just like I said, I'm a mom and pop videographer.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
want to
yeah,
put all that money into marketing, so I just try word of mouth is where I like it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's something I figured out right when I moved down here. I was like, I'm gonna work online. It's gonna be super easy. And I realized like after I got here, I'm like, it would be really nice to be in person in the States.
Yes,
It is not easy
yes.
to find work online.
No. Well, especially like I get a million emails from people wanting to edit for me all the
Yeah,
time. Like people are like, or not even that SEO. Do you ever get the SEO
yeah,
emails?
yeah. I get it. Yeah,
And yeah, and so I half the time I don't know if it's real or not, or if it's a scam or not. Like a lot of them seem very bottish.
yeah, 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 yeah. Or like
But
just mean. Do you get the mean
yes,
ones? Like, that's not
yes,
very nice. Why would I give you money?
yeah, and I editing is my favorite part. So it's like when someone comes to me and is like, "Oh, I see you have beautiful videos. I'm a wedding editor. I can edit for you." And I'm like, "Me too. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah, yeah.
job." Like, "Thank you. Those are my videos I edited that you say are beautiful that you can do."
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
It's
people are
tricky.
always out everyone's trying to make a living out here.
Yeah, 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 yeah. All right,
Trying
so
to think of something
a
else.
few quick questions. Do you have a favorite shot that you never miss at a wedding? Other than
If
the
there's a
kiss.
kid in if there's a no, yeah. If there is a kid at the wedding, I am going to or a dog. If there's an animal or a kid at the wedding,
Uh-huh.
I usually will try to watch the kid or the dog all day to get one shot. Like that one shot is what I call it. There was
Uh-huh.
this really, really cute what are they, flower girl one day. I watched her all day, and then the shot came up, her stealing a cupcake off of the cupcake
Oh,
table before we were
nice.
allowed to. So like that, I always try to find like the shot with a kid. There was one dog at this wedding I did last fall that was so adorable, and I got the shot all day a million times that I made the dog its own film because it was just such a fabulous.
Nice.
It was a yeah, it was a star. So I always try to do stuff like that.
Nice. The few weddings that I had, well, editing, I always like the dogs always I'm a dog lover and dogs always get in.
Yes.
If the dog's in the wedding, there's gonna be a lot of dog in the video.
Exactly.
um,
Yeah.
but I had one with the kid. I didn't edit the video, so I don't know how the shot ended up. But there were these two little like 6, 7 year old girls that like they saw me with the camera, and then eventually like when everyone was dancing they started to like ask me questions and stuff, and then they wanted to dance like they with the camera, and like I think I spun one of them with the camera in the other hand, and I like pulled the camera out. I was like, I hope that worked well.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's adorable. Yeah, I always another shot I like to get is I feel like the groomsmen sometimes get left out because it's all about the bride
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
wedding
yeah, yeah.
day. And so the men are just in the corner. So sometimes I'll run over to them and be like, "Do you want to throw the groom in the air?" Like that's one of my favorite
Oh,
shots.
nice.
If I always ask the bride first. And there was one day that they just couldn't figure it out. So I made them throw me up in the air as
Nice.
practice.
Is
Yeah,
that on
and
your website?
yeah, the
Uh,
photographer got a photo of
nice.
it. So, yeah, and I haven't had any like bad accidents with that yet. So,
Yet.
well, yet I'm trying not to ask the wrong crowd. But yeah, that's a gold one is, throw the groom up in the air. And I've actually had brides that want to get thrown up in the air once they see the groom doing that. So that's
Nice.
fun when it's a bridal toss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have an all-time favorite shot that you've ever gotten?
Mm, that's hard because I want to say a drone shot, but I don't have my 107 cert. So,
Oh.
mind you, I have tried to go for the test. I have failed 4 times.
Really?
Yes, it's so hard, and all the drone stuff I have. It's the aeronautical mapping that gets me because I'm not a pilot.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
never
I
gonna.
don't know anything
I'm
about any of this. I'm blown away.
so you have to go to an FAA registered base. So I drive like for this test, I've driven an hour and 15 minutes to go to a National Guard base. And it takes like an hour and a half. You have to pay $175. Um, there's 1,000 possible questions. So at each time I've taken the test, I'm not going to get the same questions.
Mhm.
And so like each time I've failed by one question. So it's
Wow.
very frustrating. Yeah. Aeronautical mapping in the meteorology part, because I'm also not a meteorologist. So
How
I'm
long
not
how
going to be
long has
good
it
with
been?
what.
I feel like maybe I can remember. How long has it been a thing that you need to
I
be?
think it's been about 10 or 15 years.
That's funny. Cuz I like
And
I
yeah.
had I went through two drones that I crashed one and the other one flew away. Um Actually the first time I was ever paid to film or get pictures, I was working for a guiding company, and I ended up like do you know what the oh, I don't even know what they're called. The tents that hang on the side of the portaledge. The tents that hang on the side of the mountain. They sold this
Mhm.
trip. And it was actually like the experimental trip. We took these guys that were also photographers. They were like signed up for the trip. Um, and we I set up the freaking portal edge, which is it's a pain in the ass to set up, hanging from the side of the wall. Like it's not fun to set up. And we set up these two portal edges, and they spent the night. I spent the night on the top of the cliff. Like the owner of the company had his own portal edge, and then I think there was four of them in the other, or maybe there were three that we set up. I don't know. either way, we set up these tents, and they were all climbing while I was setting up rigging up the tents. And at one point, like one of them was climbing with like the perfect golden light, and I was like, "Oh, get the drone up in the air!" So I like Jumar back up to the top. I get the drone out. I fly the drone around. I get these cool shots, and it just took off, and it disappeared from the GPS on the screen. This was 2017, 18, somewhere around there. And like because the guys are photographers that were on the trip, they're like, "Oh no, that happens all the time. Don't worry, I'll come up and help you." Like, cause you can find it through the GPS or whatever. And like 10 minutes, and like 5 minutes later, like when the battery was about to die, we heard it fly in another direction. And then like they're like, "Yeah, no, we'll help you, we'll help you." And we look at the GPS because it's got like recorded the track that it went on, and it just
Mhm.
disappeared.
That's weird.
Yeah, I
It's
think that
we'll
was the
say it's aliens.
yeah, that, and I think after that I was like, well, drones, I don't need to bother with drones.
Yeah, I try to do it through loopholes. There was a wedding, my last wedding of the year last year. I could have brought my drone and I didn't. The photographer had his 107 cert. So if the photographer has the like if anyone in the wedding has their cert, legally I'm fine to be flying my drone.
What? That's
But
crazy.
yes, but to legally make money off your drone, you need the 107 cert.
Okay.
So I don't charge for drone. Like if I bring my drone, it's a gift to the bride and groom. Like they can't hire me for drone. So that's like one of my loopholes. Or if I'm on private property, obviously if the venue. But there are some venues that I like a really proper professional venue will ask you for your 107 cert if you want to do drone, or they'll make you sign paperwork. So there's been a couple weddings I can't do drone at. I'm still trying to get I'm gonna get this exam eventually one
Yeah.
day, but like I said, I do have a brain injury. It's hard to learn new things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I apply or I paid for this drone course. There's drone courses all over online. I paid like $400 to do this drone course. I passed all the exams with flying colors, and then I went and failed it for the fourth time. So it's just
No.
I don't understand. I don't. I'll get it eventually, but I'm not a pilot.
It's gonna happen. Yeah. No, I'm clearly not either.
Yeah,
The other
I
one,
have. What was the last question?
no, yeah, I guess I'll tell it. I'll tell it like to make you feel better. The other drone that I crashed, I had two of them. Like this was the one that I just told was like the second drone that I bought after I crashed the first one. And the first one
Mm,
it was like right when Sam Colder was like really kind of blowing up, and I was like a big Sam Colder fan. You know who that is?
mm-hmm. Yep, yep.
Like the first
I've not.
FPV drone
Yeah.
footage, and I had a DJI Spark. It was not a it wasn't FPV, but like at the time I don't think I knew what the difference was, and I was like, I'm gonna fly
Mhm.
through things. And yeah, I hit a tree, and it got stuck in the tree, and I think we got like a bunch of poles to like try to get it out of there, and when it fell down, it yeah.
I have flown a drone into a tree. It was a really crappy off brand from Amazon. It was like $250 drone.
Uh-huh.
Flew it into a tree and during a wedding, not during this wedding
No.
ceremony, but like at a wedding, at a wedding venue. So I had to climb the tree to get the drone out. And there's a photographer took a photo of that too, which I think is hilarious. But
Nice.
everyone was like freaking out, and I'm like, it's okay. I'm a Marine. Like, I got, I'm fine. I was in a dress.
Ah,
like,
how high up was it?
but it was like a big old maple tree, but I only went up like 8 or 9 feet, so it
Ah,
really
okay.
wasn't bad. It was a very climbable tree, and if you
Yeah.
climb trees as a kid, you're fine. Like, and the drone did break when I knocked it out of out of the branch. But I have the DJI Air 3 now, which I love. It's such a great drone. And I have a couple, field shots where they're running into the field. I was just looking at this one drone shot where they're under their veil and they're gorgeous, and I like go around them into the field, and the I don't know. I don't run the lighting or the not the lighting, the ISO on my drone. I haven't figured out that far. And it kind of like it was like so blown out at first and then it brought the sunset in. And I kind of liked how like it was kind of like blinding at first and I liked it. I was like a lot of videographers wouldn't use this shot because it's blown out,
Mm-hmm.
but the color comes in and I kind of feels like it's like a transformative type of feel. And yeah, the bride and groom loved it. So,
Nice.
you know,
That's all that
as long as
matters.
they love it. Yeah,
Yeah,
as long as they
yeah,
love it. They're my biggest fans. So
yeah. Cool. Do you have anything you're really excited about for the upcoming future other than passing your drone test?
yep. When I pass that drone test. I think what I'm super excited about is this will be the first year that so last fall me and this other videographer I work with made a Facebook group just for the main videographers because I've noticed that like there's not a lot of us and a lot of I'm saying no to a lot of dates because I'm already booked out. So I'm like I need to find other videographers in the community so we can share each other's information. And so we made a group at the end of last year. And so this will be my first full year with the group, like in season. And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
excited to see what it brings to the community. It's already bringing a lot of connections and networking opportunities. I'm meeting a lot of videographers I didn't even know was out there. Like, I think what's so funny in the wedding industry is photographers you see everywhere, all over social media. They're posting every day. Videographers are the most elusive creature. Like you're never gonna find them marketing themselves because it's one of video sells itself. I feel like you don't have to really market. I rarely see videographers in main marketing. So now that we have this Facebook group, I want to start like doing something with the community, like maybe a videographers meetup, a networking event,
Nice.
something like that. Yeah, just I always say community over competition. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to be better than any other videographer. Here to be the best videographer I can be, and I have to do that with other people. Like I need to learn how to do that by learning from other people.
Yeah.
So let's see
Awesome.
where we can take this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm noticing. I'm in a couple Facebook groups, and I'm noticing also with this podcast that yeah, it's awesome to be able to be part of a community instead of the competition. And I also like going
Yes.
back to working online. I'm realizing like you say like videographers, you don't see them marketing themselves on Instagram or anything, and like I feel like it's taken me, I don't know, 15 years to figure out since I started doing video work to realize that like the most important thing for business is meeting people and talking to people. And
Yes.
your social media presence really isn't, it's good to have, but it's not, that's not what's going to get you work. Like
Yes.
word of mouth and meeting people and networking is way more important.
100%. I always say it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And I will beat that with a dead horse or beat the dead horse with that, whatever that saying is. But I haven't paid for any marketing. This is my going into my fourth year in the wedding industry. I haven't paid for any marketing. I will eventually, but my word of mouth, my like has been amazing. I get these guests from other weddings I've filmed at, or the sister of a bride that I filmed at. Like I just got this message. I literally was in tears reading it. This email, a potential inquiry. She was looking for a wedding videographer, and she said that I was at her sister's wedding, which was the second wedding I ever filmed, like 4 years ago. And she's like, and I knew from that day that you were gonna be my videographer. And I, like,
Oh,
it made me want to
awesome.
cry. So like that's what I love what I do. Like cuz it's not about like people seeing my marketing, it's about people seeing me in action.
Yeah.
Like and that's what makes them want to hire me and so it's like yeah, let's go film this wedding.
Yeah. It took me a while, I think 2 years ago, or maybe even less. It was when I started the Devin Dennis Studios Instagram and the website and everything. And before that, it was just me looking on Facebook and I'd like make Fiverr accounts and everything. And like I said, my Took Adventures YouTube channel, it was very Wayne's World and very quirky and very like kooky.
Mhm.
And I was like, no, I'm a wedding videographer. And so like I had like the profile pictures with like a nice shirt and
I'm
everything. And
classy with a tux.
yeah, no, not a tux, but but it was nice looking, and it like I think I had grass in the background, like plants in the background, so it was at least like a little naturey. So like I gotta like have a
Mhm.
little bit of me in there, and like yeah, I slowly the more that I like, I'm definitely not in this new character, this new Devin Dennis Studios Instagram account or whatever. Like it's definitely not as kooky as the Took
Mhm.
Adventures videos.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's me. And the more I get into it, the more I realize like everybody is doing the the button down,
They
like the
are.
nice
That's the
shirt, and
normal.
like it
Yeah.
kind of like stands out. Like there's not too many guys that like make it fun and are personal
Yeah.
about things. Um,
100%.
yeah,
And I think that's what's really important to me is I want people to know that like I was on the a phone with a client. She booked me the other day and we were on our discovery call and she said, "I can tell you're really passionate about what you do." And I want people to know that. Like
yeah,
I'm not doing it for the money. Yeah, the money's like awesome. Like thank you for paying me, but thank you for having me on your at your wedding and documenting these forever memories. Like that's so much more important to me and I'm glad that people know that. I'm glad that people can see because of my social media presence or when they meet me or just a phone call, they can tell I'm spunky and I'm in love with love and with my big black heart sunglasses from my logo like that my logo is iconic and I've had people like point like they see my logo they're like, "Are you Jordan Paige Media Company?" And I'm like, "How
nice.
do you like I know Maine is a very small state, but like I'm like, "Oh, you've heard of me?" Like, "Thank you." Well, Maine's not a small state, but it's small in community, you know, it's a huge state and you're going to find people all over that from the same spot. So, word of mouth is working for me and I hope it does for a while.
Yeah, awesome. Keep it up.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty good note to end it on.
100%. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much for taking time and talking to me about all this stuff. And
Thank you for inviting me. It was awesome to like I didn't even think of like looking into video podcasts, so now I'm going to after I've listened to yours, I'm like I need to go find more and
there's a couple. Yeah,
get
no,
in
I'm not the
there.
only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
There's a couple that are like
Mhm.
really cool and really involved with other parts of like I feel like we all take our own take on the industry, wedding films and wedding photos.
Yes. Yes. I think that is the coolest and also the most frustrating thing about the industry is we're all different.
Yeah.
And we all
Definitely.
do everything differently. All
Awesome.
right. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad we could do this.
Yeah. You enjoy your bread. Have an awesome day.